the Padres signed Fernando Tatis Jr. to the longest contract in MLB history. It's a 14-year deal worth $340 million. Now, I have no issue with the amount. I mean, yeah, it's a ton of money, but this has been part of the course for the Major League Baseball stars of the past decade or even longer. My issue is with the 14 years. Like, has baseball not learned anything? 14 years is a damn long time. It's almost as long as 2 full terms for 2 separate presidents. Like, Biden would have 8 years, and then a new president who we don't know is another full 2 terms. That's almost how long it is. You want to know what happened 14 years ago, guys? The iPhone was introduced by Apple. That's right. The original came out in January of 2007. A lot can change in 14 years. The player that you sign today might not and most likely won't be the same player in 10 years, let alone 14. He can get injured, or he could just lose his ability to be as effective or just be an average ball player. So then you're paying an average player $25 million a year to not be good. And why? Because you wanted to save a little bit amount of money that you had to pay the guy per year. I'd rather pay him more upfront and be able to get out of the contract sooner than sign him for 14 years. In 2011, the Angels signed Albert Pujols to a 10-year, $254 million contract. Pujols at the time was the best hitter in baseball, and he had been for many years. And it did not take long for that contract to become a disaster. Shortly after he signed, he was not the same player. Now, yes, Fernando Tatis Jr. is only 21 or 22 years old. He's much younger than what Pujols was when he signed that contract. But still, there's so many variables that come into play that may derail this whole thing. And you can look at other sports too. Look at hockey. Rick DiPietro signed a 15-year deal in 2006. The contract, had it not been bought out, would be ending this year. The Islanders sent him to the minors in 2013, 7 years after signing that deal, where he was eventually bought out. Oh, by the way, the Islanders will be paying him for another 8 years. Can it work out? I mean, yeah, a broken clock is right twice a day, so anything can happen. The Capitals signed Ovechkin in 2008 to a 13-year contract, and it worked out for them. But for every Ovechkin contract, there's so many more Pujols contract, especially in baseball. Giancarlo Stanton is making $25 million for another 6 years. How will Manny Machado's contract look in 7 years? When A-Rod signed his 10-year deal in 2008, how did that look at the end of his career in 2017? Listen, at the end of the day, it's the owner's money, and I shouldn't really care. And to be honest, I really don't care. I just don't understand the risk versus reward in this case of signing a guy to this long of a contract. It doesn't make sense to me.